Hello, everybody. It's Philip Lee returning with another episode of Civil War Chat. Today is the 24th of July, 2021. And I want you to click on the subscribe button below if you'd like to subscribe to our regular episodes, and also click on the notification bell in the upper right to be notified when they're released. So today, what I want to talk about is a pivotal episode in the case of Robert E. Lee. So let me pull up my notes. During the first 13 months of the war between the states, Robert E. Lee did not command Confederate field troops. He was largely an advisor to the commanders of two small uncooperative armies in present-day West Virginia, and later a special military consultant to President Jefferson Davis. In the second capacity, he arranged to reinforce and unleash Thomas Stonewall Jackson on the latter's legendary Shenandoah Valley Campaign on April 21st, 1862. 2 weeks later, General Joseph Johnston withdrew the largest Confederate army in Virginia from Yorktown under pressure from an even bigger Union army commanded by General George B. McClellan, as the latter advanced his troops up the York-James Peninsula toward Richmond. Under questioning from President Davis, Johnston explained that the Yankees had enveloped Yorktown with heavy siege guns that made the defensive position untenable. Thereafter, Johnston made a brief stand at Williamsburg designed to give his withdrawing troops time to put distance between them and their pursuers. Beyond that, he provided little information to explain his plans for resisting McClellan's continuing advance. On the 12th of May, he wrote Lee asking what plans had been made to supply his army should Richmond be evacuated. As word of Johnston's planless retreat spread, Richmond became gripped in panic. Even President Davis sent his family to Raleigh, North Carolina. Consequently, Davis summoned Lee to an emergency cabinet meeting on the 14th of May. Lee biographer Clifford Doughty described the scene as follows. As soon as Lee seated himself, Davis told him the meeting had been called to discuss the next line of defense after Richmond had been abandoned. Richmond abandoned? Lee stared at the president as if he had not heard him correctly. Then, glancing at the silent men around the table, Lee lost his famed composure. But, he said in a loud voice, shaken with passion, but Richmond must be defended. The power of his emotion filled the room, and that is what the men remembered. That, more than the words, shook them out of their despair. If McClellan captured Richmond, even Johnston's army could not be long maintained in the field. Yet so general was the defeatism spread by Johnston's planless retreat that only the passion of Lee's conviction gave the president and the cabinet the determination to defend the capital. Not until the last day of May, when McClellan's army was only 6 miles from Richmond, did General Johnston engage the enemy at the Battle of Seven Pines. Not only was the attack unsuccessful, but Johnston himself was badly injured. He was compelled to relinquish command, and President Davis replaced him with General Lee. Thereafter, Union troops would not enter Richmond for 3 more years, notwithstanding their superior numbers and resources, and the mere 100 miles separating the capitals of the USA and the CSA. When Lee assumed command, most Northerners had expected the Confederacy to soon collapse. There had been a number of Confederate reversals in the Western theater. Lee realized that he must attack McClellan before the latter got his siege guns deployed against the Richmond defenses. To recruit Jackson to the defense of Richmond, he wrote Stonewall, quote, "Unless McClellan can be driven out of his entrenchments, he will move by positions under the cover of his heavy guns to become within shelling distance of Richmond itself," close quote. Thereafter, it would only be a matter of time before Richmond would need to be evacuated. But from the Union perspective, the unexpected did happen. In a nearly continuous week of fighting starting on June 26, Lee's smaller army relentlessly drove McClellan back 20 miles to a defensive redoubt on the James River under the protective guns of a Union naval flotilla. Less than 3 months later, Lee's outnumbered force carried the war in the east from the doorstep of the Confederate capital at Richmond to the front porch of the Union capital at Washington. The reversal in Union morale was so severe that Attorney General William Bates quoted President Lincoln as saying, quote, "He felt almost ready to hang himself," close quote. Okay, now to learn the rest of the story, the Confederacy at flood tide, this tells the story of the 6 months from June of 1862 to December of 1862, when I think the Confederacy came closest to winning its independence. The Confederacy at Flood Tide by Philip Lee. You can get it for $28 on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. If you'd like an autographed copy from me, it'll be $31. And if you're in the United States, I'll deliver it for free. But you must email me, Phil, PHIL _Leigh, LEIGH @me.com. Okay, that's our show for today, and thanks for watching. We'll be back later.